Alright, my Deuterinos, the name is Cruggles. We're back again with Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York. So last time... Oh, whoops, hang on, that's not... Where is it? Okay, well, it's not showing me what happened the last night, but essentially the previous night was, towards the end, we suddenly got a feeling that somebody was watching us, so we decided to be like, hey, let's do something about that. But this is the night after that. As you wait, so we're just gonna continue from there. Actually, I will recap a little bit. Last episode, we did also get we had to do a thing where we met some famous Nosferatu guy, and then to get something from him, but we failed to do that. But we also made an impression on him, and then we met some some dissociative identity disorder, Malkavian woman. So yeah, let's go. let's. And now we're worried about people, and then we ended the night. We ended the night worrying about people watching us or whatever. So now we're continuing from there on the next night. As you wake from your slumber and emerge from your haven for the night, you notice a familiar face on the other side of the street, standing on the corner and looking straight at you. Oh, on the street. Okay. For some reason, I thought it said in your room when I just quickly skimmed it. Standing on. It's Kaiser's lackey whom you met recently, Jackie. He nods to you, encouraging you to approach. If I remember correctly, isn't Kaiser the... Kaiser's the Nosferatu, right? His hands are outside of his pockets and he seems pretty relaxed. He's keeping his eyes on the street, though, as if making sure you're alone. He smiles awkwardly when you approach. Yep, I was right, Nosferatu, because I was like, dang, this guy ugly. Evening, got something for you from our mutual friend. He produces a crumpled piece of paper from his jacket pocket and hands it to you. Read it, memorize it, then give it back here. It's a letter. The paper might just be a page ripped out of a spiral notebook, but the writing on it is exquisitely detailed and deliberate. It reads, "Time to square your debt with me. Go to the wine shop at 232 Mulberry Street and ask for the 1821 Special Reserve Donatello Negro Amaro." Then I'm just... I swear, I'm just reading the name here. When they tell you they don't have it, say you're a fedele servitore della famiglia G. Those exact fucking words, and make sure you get the G right. You'll get a bottle, just take it and leave by saying grazie. Don't ask how much it is or anything else, just walk out. When you have it, come back to Jackie Boy here and let him know. You done? Memorize that shit and hand it over. Didn't think your boss was a letter guy. I don't need to ask what's the... I don't see what the rush is, buddy. Hey, it's your funeral. I can stay here all night and even enjoy a nice sunrise while I'm at it. Not a luxury you have. Oh, so he's not a vampire. He's a ghoul or something. Just hand me back the letter once you're done. You note the phrases and address and mention the letter, then I hand it right back to Jackie. He immediately reaches for a lighter and burns the letter, putting out the ashes with his boot. So, yeah, when you do what the boss asks, come back here so I can tell you where to go next. I'll be in that alley over there. So find me when you have the item, whatever it is. I don't know. And the boss made it extra clear that I shouldn't care. So I don't. See ya. He shovels away and leaves you to pursue the lead from the letter. Time to pay a visit to Nolita. Wait, hang on. What? I keep clicking that thing. It's the log. I don't know what Nolita... You arrive at the address mentioned in the note, not counting local restaurant patrons. The street is mostly empty at this time of night, but curiously, the wine shop is still open. Inside, a middle-aged woman with curly hair stands behind the counter in front of a wall filled with wine bottles. There's a door at the back of the room with a small table and chair, occupied by a man in a black fox leather jacket with slick combed back hair. He's reading a newspaper but pauses as a little bell rings when you open the door. He takes a sip from a small steaming cup, then gets back to his broadsheet. The proprietor. Good evening. How can I help you? I would like a bottle of the 1821 Special Reserve Donatello. I'm not going to try saying that word again. Let me check our stock. She seems to be looking through a database on the laptop sitting on the counter. She finds, afraid we don't have that one at the moment. Recite the phrase. Ah. In that case, let me say the phrase, whatever. I am a fidelity. Okay, I don't even remember saying the I am part. In that case, let me see if we have any in the back. Wait here, please. The woman leaves the counter and goes through the doors in the back. The man by the table puts down his newspaper and takes another sip from the cup, washing it down with a gulp of water from the nearby glass. Tries to hide it, but there's no doubt he's watching you. About a minute passes. Remain silent and wait. Remind yourself of what Kaiser wrote in the letter and keep quiet. Patiently waiting for the woman to return from the back of the store. Did he say anybody would be watching me? The man finishes his drink and starts fiddling on the newspaper, his eyes darting to you every so often. The doors to the back of the store open and the proprietor emerges with a small, unlabeled, squat bottle of crimson liquid. She gives you an unapologetic smile. Wait, apologetic, not unapologetic. Squishy. Sorry for taking so long. Turns out we did have it. She offers you the bottle and you reach out to grab it, but she retracts it. You do know what this is, don't you? Why, this is a wine shop, so it's wine, surely. Well, of course, the best kind of wine. Enjoy. She winks at you. Deciding you've pushed your luck far enough, you nod and exit the store. Then take a brisk walk to your car. Nobody follows you as you leave Nolita. Oh, Nolita's probably like an area of New York or something. That I'm probably just misunderstanding. And drive back to your apartment. It takes you some time to find a parking spot, but you finally get out of the car and start looking for Jackie. He's not far from where you parted ways just under 2 hours ago. Got the goods? Sure do. I think I know what it is. Cool, stand by. Gotta make the call. He takes a few more steps into a narrow space between two buildings and takes out the same high-tech phone you saw him carrying last time. Hey boss, yeah, they have it. Where do I point them to? Okay, yeah, I'll tell them to go there right away. He puts the phone back in his pocket and turns back to you. Willets Point, half an hour, so you better step on it. See you around. With only a flippant salute, Jackie starts walking down the street. You make your way back to the car and drive. Oh, I saw that shadow. You had to push the speed limit to make it on time, but you're here. Willets Point is quite a change of scenery. The place is a post-industrial dump, the nearby stadium notwithstanding. You stop your car once you realize that if you go any further down, the potholes will kill your chassis. You step out into one of those gashes in the asphalt, splashing in the ankle-deep water. Kaiser's limo is nowhere to be seen. In fact, the whole place is pretty much deserted. Other than the apparent proprietor of a lonely bar, a middle-aged woman who's just locking the place up. You know, last time I played, I was like, it's been a while since I've last fed. But all of a sudden, I do remember I did feed, actually, during the, I think when trying to recruit the gangrel person. Alright, this woman, with the bar, do I want it? I do need to feed, so I'm gonna go for... This is too perfect an opportunity to not take advantage of. She's walking to her car, ready to call it a night when you sneak up on her. She's far too tired to resist your strong hold and swift bite. You can taste the caffeine in her veins, smell the cheap cigarettes in her hair, the old cooking grease in her clothes. She passes out, your assault the closing note of a long day at work. You let her down gently and feel a pang of remorse. You pick up the car keys she dropped and place her in the driver's seat. She'll find an explanation for passing out like this, for sure. Okay, at least I did that. I wouldn't want to just leave her on the ground. The bright lights of a car pulling over down the road illuminate you as you would close the door. It's a black limo. Kaiser is finally here, it would seem. Same as last time, the car doors open but nobody comes out. You know the drill. This time Kaiser is visible when you look inside. You sit down and close the door behind you. So, you pull it off without a hitch then. Give it here. You hand the bottle over to the Nosferatu. He uncorks it gently, takes a whiff, and puts the cork back in. Yeah, that's the stuff. Good job, kid. Consider your debt paid. Oh, yeah, and also take this. It's what Langley wanted. He passes you an envelope with what feels like a thick card inside. Thank you, Mr. Kaiser. Yeah, I'll send Jackie over if I need anything else from you. How about that? Time for you to get out now. He waves you out of the car. With the envelope in hand, you get out, back onto the torn asphalt and decrepit surroundings. The limo slowly drives away. Finally, you can return to Sophie and bring her what she wanted. Gregory lets you in. You hear a shrill, unpleasant laugh and you realize Sophie's having a guest over. He's the man from Elysium, the one with glasses and good taste in suits. You didn't have the chance to talk to him last time you saw him. Ah, Cruggles, so glad to see you. Tell me, did the two of you previously meet? The man doesn't wait for an answer. He approaches you with an energetic, almost dance-like step and puts out his hand. Thomas Arturo. I've heard about you. Pleasure. Oh, okay, so he was there at Elysium, but we didn't get a chance to talk to him. Thomas is a great source of gossip and an excellent conversationalist. I also have the Prince's ear, which is the primary reason dear Miss Langley wished to speak to me tonight. Good gossip, even coming from me, isn't nearly as valued. Sad. Sophie is taken aback by the man's direct comment, but smiles politely. The awkward atmosphere is broken again by the guest's grating laugh. I kid, of course, I kid. Well, I was about to leave anyway, so I'll leave you two to it. Good night, Sophie. Cruggles. Greggy boy. Sophie's driver opens the door for Arturo, and the guest steps out with a single wave of the hand towards his host and you. The doors close. He's quite the character, isn't he? Yes, quite, but he has his uses. Thomas has clout in court and access to many juicy details on everyone from the prince to the lowliest primogen. It's useful to have him on your side, even if his... Excuse me. Eccentricity requires some patience. Speaking of patience, you've been putting mine to the test lately. Did you manage to contact Kaiser and acquire what I asked for? Yes, but I had to do another job for him first. But the data you offered was old news to him. Yes, I have it. The old data you offered was old news to him. I had to do another job for him before he would give me this card. She retrieves the envelope from you. I'm sure he did. I do hope it wasn't too much of an inconvenience. He's got a servant named Jackie. It was a pain to deal with. I hear all of his ghouls are like that. The apple never falls far from the tree, it would seem. She opens the envelope and looks at the card. You notice the same lettering you saw on Kaiser's note from before, but can't see the details. Her eyes widen. Yes, excellent. I need to call in some favors. I will likely be busy for the next few nights. You have my permission to show some initiative, my dear charge. I will contact you soon. With that, Sophie ushered you outside, and you are left to do with the rest of this night's hours as you like. Recently, you're feeling as if... Okay. So I don't want to ignore that. But I do need to do this. At the same time, I also don't want to ignore this either. It's been a while since you heard from D'Angelo. Maybe he's busy sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. Or maybe he's pissed off the wrong people and is now rotting in a ditch somewhere. Either way, now's as good as time as I need to check up on him. I do need to check up on him, actually. It's been a few nights. So you make your way through the now familiar rusty maze of the grain terminal and up the stairs to D'Angelo's office. This time, however, you find the room firmly locked. There's a note pinned to the door. You rip it off and scan the crooked lettering. There's been another one. At the scene now. Come to Bedstui? Corner of Pulaski and Garvey, ASAP. Looks like D'Angelo could use your help. Better get going. As you approach the address D'Angelo gave you, a squad car passes you by, sirens blaring. Following it, you make a turn from DeKalb Ave onto Pulaski Street. Pulaski? I don't know. Pulaski Street. Sure enough, the street is awash with red light and the 4 or so police cars parked on the nearest corner, next to an ambulance, to confirm that you're in the right place. You move closer to what appears to be a New York's finest convention, looking around in the hopes of spotting a familiar, if not altogether pleasant face. No such luck. True to his Nosferatu lineage, D'Angelo is nowhere to be seen. You stop on the sidewalk across the street, trying not to draw attention to yourself. All of a sudden, one of the cops standing by the entrance to the building looks straight at you. He does a double take, and you instinctively look away. Bad move, you think to yourself, as you notice him making his way toward you. I'll wait for him to approach. Not allowing panic to set in, you stand your ground doing your best ordinary citizen impression. The cop waddles across the street towards you, his sense of authority putting that extra spring in his step. You try to remain calm, even as he puts his hand on his holster. Shit, you can't help but mouth the word. This is about to get messy. Suddenly he stops, as if instinctively realizing that he was just inches away from a grisly demise. He waves at you dismissively, and yells in a thick Brooklyn accent. Hey, this here's an active crime scene. Be on your way. The horrible Brooklyn accent, but listen, you take what you get. Relieved but trying not to show it, you put on your grumpy New Yorker face and start to walk away. As you make your way past a dark alleyway, someone grabs you by the arm and pulls you into the shadows. If the smell of cigars and cheap cologne doesn't give him away, the gravelly voice sure does. Nice save. I mean, dumb to show your face around here in the first place, but still. Come on, I'm parked around the corner. Before you know it, you're sitting in the passenger seat of a busted old sedan parked half a block away, giving you a nice view of the police gathering. We can take them? No. I want to impress him, so... Do your shadow skulky thing. Let me talk to them. Why don't I talk to them? I might convince them to let us in. He gives you a look as if you just let rip a massive fart. Right. Look, it's not that I don't trust you, but how about we give that raw animal magnetism of yours a dry run, huh? Pretend I'm one of the cops guarding the entrance. Convince me to let you in. I'll just use my powers? Even officers might not have noticed, but I am in fact a vampire, and I have just used my unholy powers of persuasion on your feeble minds. Now why don't you piggies go grab yourself a donut and fuck off for a while? Okay, thanks, bye. Well, okay, yeah, then, I guess that might work. See? Nothing to it. Fair enough, go get him, Tiger. I'll stay close by, just in case things go south. You get out of the car, slamming the door a bit too loudly for your own good. As you cross the street, you already feel like you made a big mistake. Oh well, too late to turn back now. Might as well give it your best shot. As you approach the cops, your whole body tenses up. It's funny that this would make you nervous, considering all you've seen these past few nights. And yet it does. The two officers seem to be engaged in a heated debate regarding last night's Mets game. You stop just a few steps away and open your mouth. Whatever's about to come out, it better be good. Kowalski. And then, just as you're about to weasel your way into their unsuspecting minds, you freeze. One of the cops notices you and gives you a slight nod. Yeah, hey, if you're going in, make sure you stay away from 209. Active crime scene, you know? And with that, they get back to arguing whether or not the umpire was bought and paid for. Or not. Utterly confused, you piece together what's left of your senses and hurry past them. Inside the building, D'Angelo stands in the hallway, dumbfounded. As you open your mouth, he stops you with a gesture. Don't even talk to me right now. In awkward silence, you both make your way up to the second floor. Finding the crime scene... What the fuck does it say? His gift, our fate? Finding the crime scene proves easy enough. You just follow the yellow police tape, and before you know it, you're standing in the presence of what used to be someone's living room. The place has been completely trashed. Knocked over furniture, shattered glass, the works. Looking around, you notice a sign scribbled on the wall, on a nearby wall. It reads, His gift, our fate. You're no expert in typography, but the crooked letters look similar to the ones you saw back in Red Hook. Sure enough, there's very little in terms of blood, save for the occasional stain that's bound to end up on the carpet once you toss someone through a glass coffee table. D'Angelo leans against the doorway. He seems lost in his thoughts, sucking on a cigar, compulsively mumbling to himself. You lean over a bit, trying not to make it obvious that you're listening in. You can't manage to catch the last few lines of his monologue. The night's been kind to them so far, but the questions kept piling on, and now they found themselves amidst the wreckage of another life. It was up to them to sift through the debris and come up with a neat little pile of answers. Suddenly, he tenses up, as if sensing your eyes upon him. Feel free to chip in, kid. Anything catch your eye? Another piece of his gift, our fate. Yeah, there's that. What do you think it means? His gift. Isn't there a theory that Cain was the first vampire? Oh, it's more than a theory. To some, it's a deeply held belief. And yeah, you're right. It's about the gift of Cain, as in vampirism. Our fate. Clearly, someone wasn't too happy to receive it. God damn it, I hate where this is going. Why? Look, the thin blood angle seems to check out. It looks like you were right. Yeah, well, this time I'd rather be wrong, alright? Anyway, it looks like we're not getting any more out of this place. No way around it. We gotta see the body. Wait, hang on. I missed something. Hang on. Oh, yeah, we were... Okay, no, that makes sense. It's an obvious jump. Sure, might as well. In for a penny, in for a pound. Might as well be prudent. My thoughts exactly. The Dustborn have it bad as it is. If I'm going to accuse one of them of breaking the masquerade, I want solid evidence. And I mean rock fucking solid. Luckily for us, I know someone who could get us an audience with our dearly departed. To your surprise, he pulls out a cell phone, a busted old clamshell. Flips it open and spends a good... Hey, my favorite type of phone. He flips it open and spends a good minute browsing through the contacts, muttering to himself. Finally, he makes a call. I actually had a flip phone for quite a while, to be honest. Hey, you know who this is. Yeah, that favor you owe me? Time to deliver. Listen, I know you got a fresh one. The murder in Bedstuy. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I need to take a look. Yes, now. Yeah, you'd better. With that, he hangs up and gives you his trademark wry smile. Are we good? Yeah, we're good. Next stop, Kings County. Kings County, the bleeding heart of Brooklyn. It's beating as hard as ever, with ambulance after ambulance bringing in sick and wounded New Yorkers to be pumped through the tight arteries of the healthcare system. It's a dangerous place for a kidder to show their face, incessantly crowded and full of people who specialize in noticing all sorts of physical afflictions, especially the sort that make up the very essence of a vampire's existence, for instance, death. Thankfully, your business here tonight keeps you away from the hectic human hive of the ER. Instead, you follow D'Angelo to a relatively quiet part of the underground parking lot that's closest to your current point of interest, the Kings County morgue. Having found yourself a convenient and suitably unlit spot near the hospital wall, you wait patiently for D'Angelo's contact to appear. Okay, I know this is just background effect, but seeing the shadow is a little unnerving. Every now and then you glance over at the undead Gumshoe, as if to make sure his moldy mug isn't showing any signs of worry. It isn't, or at least he's very good at hiding it. Finally, after 30 minutes or so, a lone figure emerges from a side entrance. As the human-shaped shadow walks by, you're quick to recognize him as the EMT you saw back at the murder site. Clearly nervous, the 20-something-year-old redhead can't seem to help but look back and make sure no one is following him. Finally, he stops and lights up a cigarette. Without even looking in your direction, he takes a puff and exclaims, seemingly to no one in particular, "Room 112, you got 20 minutes. D'Angelo speaks without looking at you. That's our cue. You follow the Fang detective through the same door the EMT walked out of. Luckily, this wing of the hospital seems unusually empty. Still, the confidence with which D'Angelo makes his way through the white and green corridors makes it clear. He's been here before. Finally, he stops in front of one of the doors. Room 112. That's your stop. The room is small, with only one oversized freezer by the wall and a single slab mounted in its center. Sure enough, the body of a middle-aged man is splayed out on its steel surface. Even for a dead man, he seems unnaturally pale. Extreme blood loss will do that to you. Try as you might, you can't help but look at the man's face. His features twisted in abject horror. This was not a peaceful death. Looking closely, you notice 2 small puncture wounds on the victim's neck. If there was a clearer sign of a vampire attack, you've yet to see it. Looking over at D'Angelo, you notice his lips moving in a familiar fashion. He's narrating again. Before he can utter an intelligible word, you cut in with a remark. Are those marks on his neck? Is that what I think it is? Yep, good eye, kid. It's official. Our killer is Kindred. Look at his face, though. Sheer terror. He was fully aware all the way through. Killing aside, no Kindred worth their salt would allow that to happen. Unless they didn't even know better. This confirms it. We're looking for a thin blood. Fuck. As if on cue, the door swings open. A tired-looking man with a stethoscope around his neck walks in. With his eyes fixed on his clipboard, he doesn't appear to notice you, yet. Hide behind. Quietly, you hop behind the oversized freezer, hoping D'Angelo will follow suit. Pressed against the wall, you tense up, hoping for the best but expecting the worst. The room, however, remains silent. You peer out from behind the freezer to assess the situation. The doctor calmly looks over the victim, jots something down in his clipboard, and walks out. If you could breathe a sigh of relief, you would. So hard. D'Angelo materializes from the shadows lingering against the wall across from you. He gives you a slight nod. Nice save, kid. My first instinct was to jump him, but hey, whatever works. Now come on, let's get out of here. Time to pay our dear Primogen another visit. Robert Larson's home looks about the same as last time. No added security, no angry dogs prowling the yard. It appears that the thin blood Primogen would rather risk another visit from his old pal D'Angelo. Wait, what? Damn it, I did it again. Oh, no dogs, okay. Than to arouse the suspicion of his family and neighbors. Which is good, considering that's what he's about to get. Sure enough, the light in Larson's study is on, and you even catch a glimpse of the man himself shuffling around the room. You look over to D'Angelo, wondering how you're going to get Larson's attention this time. Without a single word, D'Angelo walks over to a nearby street lamp and leans against it, making sure he's visible to any and all who happen to look. Looks like time for subtlety is over. It only takes a couple minutes for Larson to notice. You see him lean out against the window and storm out the room. In mere seconds, he's out in front and in D'Angelo's face. Listen to me, you moldy fuck. I've had just enough of your shit. You want to pester me? Fine, but leave my family out of it. For a moment, D'Angelo just stands there, motionless, allowing Larson to get his frustrations out. Suddenly, he grabs the thin blood by the collar, lifts him off the ground, and smashes his back against the lamppost. Are you finished? Alright, now you listen to me and you listen good. You think I'm enjoying this? You think I like to be jerked around? You think I got nothing better to do than hang around this little puppet theater you made for yourself? Now, either you give me a lead I can follow, or I'll start remembering things you'd rather forget. What? For the first time since you met him, Larson looks speechless. His eyes wide with fear, he can only mutter under his breath. You wouldn't dare. Try me. Cue awkward silence. You stand there, shifting your eyes from one vampire to the other. Guess it's time to either press the advantage or play the good cop. Look, we're all a bit stressed out. How about we all just take a deep breath, figuratively speaking? Nah, I don't feel like it. I tried being nice. Some people don't appreciate nice. Some people will do anything to cover their asses. Isn't that right, Robert? If you want my help, put me the fuck down. With his feet back on the ground, Larson straightens his collar in a faint attempt at preserving some shred of dignity. There's a place in Manhattan, Lower East Side, one of the few places in the city where my people can find shelter. Okay. Yeah, I know it. If you go there right now, you might find what you're looking for. D'Angelo stares at him for a moment, just long enough to make it uncomfortable. We better. Finally, D'Angelo loosens his grip. You both watch Larson limp back to his house, looking back over his shoulder, like he's going to tell the teacher on you. You look to your partner, meaning to ask what that whole things you'd rather forget about deal was. As if sensing your curiosity, D'Angelo cuts in with a preemptive mutter. Come on, we gotta get what we came for. Or we got what we came for. Excuse me. Come on, we got what we came for. As you reach the address Larson gave you, you find yourself standing in front of what looks like an old garage. On the outside, the place looks as interesting as it gets. You'd think it abandoned if not for the few barely working lights illuminating its shabby facade. Once you're inside, however, if ever there was a place worthy of being called a wretched hive of scum and villainy, this is probably it. The room is littered with drunks and crackheads, human and thin-blood alike, their minds lost in their cruel little worlds, their bodies splayed out across the floor. D'Angelo leans over and whispers in your ear, I'll cover the back door. You stay near the front. Let's look around and see what we can find. Before you can ask exactly what you're supposed to be looking for, D'Angelo disappears into the shadow. Look around quietly. Doing your best to blend in with the crowd, which is fairly difficult considering your upright position, you slowly make your way across the large room. Not really knowing what you're looking for, you focus on the details. A knowing smirk, a hateful stare, anything that even looks even the slightest bit suspicious. After a dozen or so empty stares, you're almost ready to give up, when suddenly something catches your eye. A young, skinny woman hunched in the corner of the room. She gives you a bewildered look, a 1,000-yard stare that tells you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, it's her. As you walk towards her, D'Angelo emerges from the shadows right next to you. Nice catch. He kneels down beside her. You can tell he's trying to sound as comforting as possible, but with his gravelly timbre, it's not really working out. Hey, it's okay. We're not here to hurt you. We just want to talk. No, don't talk. Too loud, too loud. She seems halfway out of it. It's like the lights are on, but whoever's inside is stumbling around after one hell of a bender. Alright, you like quiet? Got it. Can you tell me your name? Santa, that's what he called me. Suddenly you hear the door swing open behind you. Even though the night is fairly warm, a cold chill runs down your spine. You look towards the entrance. There's a woman standing there, and something about her just screams kindred. Even though she seems comically overdressed for the situation, somehow you don't feel like cracking a smile. Whoever she is, you can tell she means business. She starts making her way to the back of the room, not making any effort to sidestep any of the junkies and drunks. They all know well enough to get out of her way. Acting out of bravery or sheer stupidity, you walk up to her. She looks at you as if you were something she just scraped off her shoe. You smile nervously without even knowing it. Hello there. And as soon as you open your mouth, her hand shoots out, grabbing you by the throat. The woman looks at you, tilting her head as if examining a curious species of insect. Suddenly, her eyes shift as she notices something behind you. Her face turns from disgusted curiosity to sheer annoyance. What the fuck? You. Hey, Val, that's my assistant you got there. Do you mind? She rolls her eyes. You feel the grip on your neck loosen and you awkwardly fall to your feet. She makes her way towards D'Angelo, pushing you aside like a rag doll. Where is she? You're gonna have to be a bit more specific, Starling. Don't play coy, Ginny. Wait, hang on. Ginny? Ooh. The Manslayer. I know she's here. A blood hunt has begun. By order of the prince herself, the girl is to meet her final death. Hold your horses, honey. I'm conducting an investigation under the auspices of the sheriff. That counts for something, too. Look, sweetie, I'm not here for some clit measuring contest. You want this to get ugly? Be my guest. Otherwise, I suggest you step aside and let me do my job. By all means. He steps aside in a comically exaggerated fashion. You look at the corner where you last saw Santa, but find no trace of the girl. Well, I'll be. I could swear she was just here. Valerie looks at D'Angelo. She smiles softly, but you can tell she's trying very hard not to rip his head off. You'll regret this. Story of my life. Without another word, she turns on her heel and storms out. D'Angelo waves his hand in your general direction. Come on, kid, let's get out of this shithole. As you emerge from said shithole, you feel the cool night breeze caress your face. It's soothing and almost makes you forget how shitty the last few hours have been. Almost. Okay, kid, I know you got questions, but it's getting early and I don't feel like having a Q&A session right now. For now, you get one question. Make it count. Alright, I can come up with an idea of who Valerie is. But between these three questions, I don't want to... This is going to be basically a yes or no question. Our perp's gone, now we're on some psycho chick shit list. What the hell do we do now? Well, the good news is we know who we're looking for. The bad news, Valerie knows it as well. She's a scourge kid, part enforcer, part assassin, all around pain in the ass. We'll be seeing more of her, you can bet on that. And before you ask, yes, we've run into each other in the past. No, I don't feel like talking about it. Alright, kid, I don't know about you, but I'm turning in. I'll figure some stuff out and keep looking for our girl. Feel free to swing by the office in a night or two. And with that, he stumbles off into the distance, not even bothering to keep to the shadows. Can't say you blame him. It really has been a rough night. Alright. I don't want to start the next day, so we're gonna... Ow, excuse me. We're gonna end this here. Because it is past 1 a.m. where I am. I do need to try to get better with the sleep schedule thing. Excuse me. Have a good night, y'all.